Gods and goddesses in training, welcome back to the channel. It is Uncle Makara, all relations. Today we're talking about how the ego stops your flow and what to actually do about it. Now, if you understand the ego, it's basically your personal identity. If you find yourself easily triggered, it's not your fault. It's your ego running the show. It's manipulating you and it's feeding off of your life force energy. It wants to take the power into its own hands and also then use that against other people. Now, the ego creates this feeling of separateness, and it usually comes through very low frequencies. So low frequency environments, low frequency people. But once you recognize the ego's games, you can then starve it and take the power back into your own hands again. So the ego isn't bad, it's neutral. And we've got to understand that it's a facilitator, not a dictator, as Ryan G would say. So the reason why ego is associated with anti-life is because of the law of one. Because if everything is one and everything is in unity, that means that light is awareness and truth. And the opposite of that would be what? Lies, deceit, ignorance, basically unconsciousness, right? So if you have a very overactive ego, you will get triggered more easily. You'll get more upset at things easily. You won't be able to move through this life with ease, with calm, with relaxation, with flow. You always feel like you have this rigidity within you, this kind of stuckness, this clunkiness about you. You become stiff, right? You become less flexible because the ego now has the reins. It has the control. Actually, you know what? You don't have any choice and freedom. I do. And in fact, you need to use this other thing as a cope to be able to preserve my own sense of identity. Usually you'll notice topics like religion, sports, politics. Take any topic, okay? Let's say sports. There's always an in-group, out-group. You're always like, I hate that team, I like this team, right? So then there is this clash of egos. Think about religion. My religion is the right one, yours is the wrong one, blah, blah, blah. It's the same thing, same dynamic. In a relationship, I'm right, you're wrong. Ego clashes, right? So already we understand this. So the more you resist life, the more you will sink into the struggle mentality. The more you accept life, the more higher you'll go into the flow. This is what I've noticed through my life and my own journey, okay? Absolutely transformative journey for me, okay? It has changed me in so many ways, so many different ways. So do you feel like life is a battle, like you're frustrated, constantly struggling? Or maybe you experience moments of gratitude, bliss, joy, peace, love, these higher renditions of higher valence emotions. A single ego, it's bad enough, but a collective ego, that's like herd mentality. That's like unstoppable. When an ego is healthy, here's how you check. Have someone attack your identity. Have someone attack your identity and don't flinch. Just keep your calm, keep cool. Bro, that's not very positive psychologist of you. You don't know how many times I've heard that. Now it's just like, whatever. And then of course the ego is going to try to preserve itself. What do you know about the subject? Blah, 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 blah. You know, it's like, it takes on a tangent of its own. And it's very difficult to spot, like I did it right there, right? However, it's not that easy. It's very sneaky, very super shady, okay? This is why a lot of liars have a huge ego, right? Because they just fabricate to appear cool, to, gain approval from someone. However, if that gets attacked, then it's like the whole thing crumbles. War, conflict, and division are all egos fighting for survival. When the ego becomes a parasite, anything that people will say about you will seem like it's a personal attack. You get very defensive. You get very reactive and impulsive. And you're like, what is this thing? It's like I'm possessed or something, right? What is this thing that's reacting like this kid throwing a temper tantrum? It's your ego. So it feeds on attention and your emotional energy. And really, I think of my ego as like a sleazy salesman. You want these supplements? These negative thought supplements? So remember this fact. If you forget everything else, forget it. But in this video right now, remember this. Awareness is the kryptonite of the ego. If you are aware, you are conscious, it's going to lose its grip. It runs on this autopilot. The ego cannot survive in the light of truth. So if you're a truthful person, you're a good person, and you know that you are, this shouldn't be an issue for you, actually. This is going to be less of a challenge for you. If you're the type of person that's like, yo, I'm the king of the fucking world and nobody else is better than me, and you know, you fed into some like Tate ideologies and like red pill stuff, and you're in that gunk and you're like really low into it, and now your ego just wants to lash out and prove itself and be bigger than somebody else and compare it, like then you're like, okay, that's a little bit more of a disentanglement, right? But you just got to recognize its illusion. You got to recognize the ego's illusion, the Maya that it's creating. One of the ways to do this is because the ego is so closely interwoven with the mind. When we silence the mind chatter and we enter flow state, we also silence the ego. So we experience egolessness or selflessness. Realize one thing, just because a thought appears does not mean that it has to be true. Okay? You are not your thoughts. Don't identify with your thoughts. When you notice yourself getting really pulled into the drama, just observe the thoughts and ask yourself, is this worth my energy right now? Getting triggered is actually a choice, and you have a few seconds before it's going to take on the power on its own. So you have moments of awareness. If you rush your brain with awareness, slow breathing, go inwards, really work with this energy, you'll notice it's starting to fade, go down, dissolve. Okay? Because after breath work, you're not thinking, what's the color of my skin, what's my height, what's my age, what's my this, ethnicity, okay? Doesn't matter. In that moment, you're in the zone, that selflessness, that egolessness, that power, and from there you can make your greatest decisions. This is why meditation is such an important practice. So the ego lives in the past and the future. Flow is in the now. So truth leads to freedom. The more you seek truth, the less control that your ego actually has. The ego spends its entire life chasing all these things, happiness, abundance, and all these things, okay? Not even recognizing that these are states that you can access from within. You don't need validation to feel love. You're the source of love. You don't need struggle to earn abundance. You are abundance. You don't need to go anywhere to find peace. I just need peace. It's already within you. In fact, I would say it's your natural state to be at peace. So, the funny cosmic joke is you are already free. The only thing keeping you in this cycle is believing in the ego's lies. So just notice it, man. Just be very aware of when this ego starts to take control, okay? It's good to do it in a partnership. My partner many times has pointed out to me, like, you're being arrogant right now, right? And pointed it out to me. So I had to sit with that. I had to think about it, really. You know, I got recently upset at this content creator. And I started just roasting this guy, you know, like bullying him almost in a sense. And then I started to realize, like, it's not so much that I dislike him. I don't even know him. It's the fact that he's going against channeling and like what I do. That's the upsetting part, because that's an attack on my identity, and my ego has now taken over the voice box, right, and is going blah 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 blah, rap battle mode, to try to fight against this random individual. But he's cool, man. He's like a character, you know. Now that I realize he's okay, right? And it's kind of funny to roast people at times. It's not like this huge thing, but I just noticed my ego come alive in that moment, and I was like, dang. I don't really need to react like this. So the next time that the ego comes up, just notice where you're feeling tension and resistance, okay? Just observe it. Don't absorb it. Just notice that this is not me and the ego's doing its thing. Just kind of zoom out and observe yourself with that ego attack, pain body attack happening. It wants to protect itself, it wants control, it wants safety, it wants approval from others. Just notice that. That's funny. Right? You know what helps me is I just laugh at it. I laugh at it. It's kind of ridiculous, that you reacted that way. Once you have the awareness, the light of awareness and truth actually just melts it away. Like, what the? Truth be told, the ego is an absolute monster. And it will take control of you. And I truly think I could have healed my past mentors of this ego curse. But I realize that's taking on way too much responsibility, you know? I can't control how they lead their lives. If the student is ready, the master will appear, you know? I don't have to force that. I don't have to try to superimpose that and make myself look bigger or cooler than others to try to be successful in this life. I don't. I really don't. I know I'm in a league of my own. I don't need the ego to come in. I'm okay with competition too. I'm okay with challenge too. This is why I'm free and open and feeling so good nowadays, is that I'm not constantly micromanaging, checking everything twice, you know, being in this self-consciousness, like constantly perfectionist, like these little moments, you know, oh, my video isn't perfect yet, I can't post it yet. What the? Just relax and let go. Allow yourself to win. Actually lean into that resistance. Understand it. Understand the trigger. Your trigger is your treasure because it's there to teach you. Your trigger is your teacher. It is not a bad thing. It's there to teach you how to be better. Okay? But also be very, very careful of this ego hamster wheel trap of I constantly need more, I constantly need more. You are absolutely valid and fine and awesome as you are, and abundance is your birthright, so of course you'll get more. You don't need to even say that I want more, right? That's the ego. Bro, you have enough. It's gonna come, right? And that's the thing. And this is the real beauty of this thing. As human beings, we have a very evolved state of consciousness. Like, we've gotten to this point where we all recognize this at some level, right? That we are gods in training, that we are these divine beings, that we are all one. We know this, right? But at the same time, someone cuts us off in traffic or something annoys us and we're like, ah, right? And the ego takes over, takes the wheel. And you just gotta be like, down, boy, down. All right, domesticate that thing, right? Hold on, bud. Okay? That's not the time to do that. Okay, you talk back to it. And if you ever had a friend who's egotistical yell at you, you know, if you stayed in the light of your awareness and truth, it just cut through all the bullshit like a diamond would, right? And that's the Vajra path. That's Sat Chit Ananda, truth, consciousness, and bliss. Okay? So with that, I want to leave you with this. Access the state of flow where you shut down your decision-making center and just allow and accept what's coming up. I allow that, I acknowledge that, I accept that. I will embrace that, I will appreciate that, and I will apply that. This is key. This is like, pow. Now the ego doesn't want to try to, you know, classify, categorize things, put it in a box, put this other thing against this other thing, right? Compare statistics with those things. Like, now you're getting into the ego's plans and maneuvers. But with the ease, you start to gain the power back because you're now flowing with the grace of God. You're flowing with the divine. You're not separate from it. You're not in ignorance, in darkness anymore. Because wherever the light shines, the darkness cannot prosper. Let's get it. Upward Spiral Gang, may we never be the same again. Let's get it. We're all here to win. Let's go. Upward Spiral Gang.